Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to talk dual lands. With all this reserve list buyouts, all the craziness going on in the world, we haven't really had a chance to sit down and talk about the dual land. How is it doing? What's it up to? And can you still get one? Because trust me, they're still out there. It's coming up next. Stay tuned. Hey guys, MTG Moxman here. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm glad you have somehow found me out there in YouTube land, and I'm glad you got to enjoy and join in the content today. Alright guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, always leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to get back to you. Of course, my patrons get answered first because they're the patrons who support everything that's going on. You can find all my links below. Enjoy that conversation topic. Alright, so guess what? Today we are talking dual lands. You saw it from the beginning clip. You saw it from my thumbnail. That's why you're zooming in on this particular thing saying, hey, what's going on with dual lands? Now, with all the reserve list buyout cards we had in the last 10 to 12 days, from everything from Fastball, Brain Geyser, Fork, Wheel of Fortune, you guys know the market has been moving fast and furious on older cards, and it's just been bought out everywhere. The same is for dual lands, but not to the same degree you might think. And that's the information I'm going to relay to you guys today, and the conversation we're going to have. Is not all dual lands are created equal. And I wonder if that's somebody else's fault and not ours. So, we know all the blue dual lands have gone up. So, Volcanic Island, Tropical Island, Underground Sea, Tundra, they all have gone up in value for our dual lands. But not all the dual lands have. And depending on the quality of the copy you care about. Now, I only deal with English cards, so this conversation is all in English. So I don't deal with like Italian or Portuguese or Chinese simplified. I don't deal with any of those, okay? I only deal with English cards because that's what I have here in Canada. And Canada and US, that's kind of what we deal with, okay? I know we have French in Canada too, but most people even shun the French cards. So it is what it is. We can't do much about it. We deal with English, okay? So I want to show you a few stats, if it were, of some of the sold listings, what's for sale, and what's underrated. So right away, I'm going to jump to Taiga. Taiga is very underrated, okay? When you look at Taiga there, you see it's for $229, $268, and $273 for varying conditions. Let's take that $229 as our beat-up copy. Poor beat-up copy. But it is real. And it's not $1,000. Now, in terms of dual lands, all dual lands are kind of expensive. I understand dual lands won't be for everyone, but we're talking in the context of, as an investment, affordability in this market branch of dual lands, okay? So when we go and we look at, say, the sold listings, oh, wrong sold listing though, sold listings, you can see there that we've got 229, 268, 273, 299, 325, 376. These were better condition ones that sold last week, but you got to realize they're still Taiga. Still playable, it's still selling. But the market demand is keeping up with supply. So right now, this is a very balanced market. Nothing right here is out of whack, which is great for us. Great for the average buyer who still might want to pick up a copy for your commander deck, right? Because it's affordable still in terms of dual lands. It is affordable. You can swing this card still. You could trade up, you could do things to get there. A lot of these dual lands actually have best offers you can do. So don't give up on a dual land just because it's expensive. When I see that Taiga for $229, and we know we talked about Time Spiral yesterday being $229, I will pick that Taiga 9 times out of 10 over that box of Time Spiral. Because that Taiga is never coming back. It's reserve list. It's revised. Time Spiral is a reprint of all kinds of cards. It will get some people. But in the context of those two preferred buys at the same price, I'll buy the Taiga. Now, when you start seeing other ones though, there are still better condition Taigas that start drawing the price up. But I'm of the mind, if you just need play copies, what you're going to do is save the money. Buy the beat up copy, save the $90, and put that into another dual land further down the road. Physically take the money and said, I was going to buy this one for $300, but I'll buy this one for $220. Take that $80 and put it aside, and maybe I'll buy, I don't know, a Badlands. I'll buy something else later on. But you always make sure you pay your debts down and put that money aside. Now, if you're looking also for the higher end ones, you can always go the collector edition route. These collector edition ones are the $500 to $600 range, not the $1,000 they're now charging for a revised copy. And I looked locally, all the revised copies got sold. The ones I've been keeping an eye on around the $600 mark, they're all gone. For revised, heavily played copies, they're history. But These as collector editions are a very viable option. They're still very limited, still collectible. I don't know if anyone's been following, but Power 9 cards are selling out everywhere. So keep an eye on it, especially even in collector editions. Crazy. Now, when we start looking at actual revised Underground Seas, you can see it's a $200 to $300 price increase to get one. That's expensive. Okay, we are getting up there. And when I see prices like that, I'm glad I already have mine, because the idea of having to pay for that would just blow my mind. You're talking like a case of Magic for one card, and that's hard to justify for anyone who doesn't have the kind of funds you'd need to power up to buy that card. Okay, I understand that. So that's why I'm glad I had mine as a teenager, and I haven't had to buy those ones yet, because it is still a great card. It's going to continue to rise, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of cash. All right, now when we start looking at Savannahs, though, look at that price: $248, $250, $286. That, again, it's pretty affordable, right? In comparison to what I just showed you at $1,000. Crazy. Now, when you look at, say, a volcanic island, look at that volcanic. You were talking $900. Just like the Underground Sea. That's an insane price to pay just to get that land. And you start looking for alternatives. You start looking, hey, shock lands. That's a pretty viable option when you're going this price range, right? I'm just saying. Scalding Tarn. There are ways of supplementing. Now, the good news is, as although the Scalding Tarn exists, you can put a Scalding Tarn with this, and you can thin your deck out. You can pump out mana fast and get the exact colors you need. So dual lands and fetch lands go hand in hand. They're buddies, and they are used in all kinds of decks. So keep it in mind, but awesome. If you can't do it, you can find an alternative until you can save for it, because that's a crazy price. Now, when we see the sold listings on those Savannahs, you see like $240, $280, $260, best offer accepted. That's not bad. That's pretty affordable compared to the $900 I just showed you there, right? When you start comparing those, you go, whoa, look at the price. Moxman's crazy. I know. Trust me, I'm thinking the same thing. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. Here's something I think people are forgetting. Although all these blue ones are being bought up, because let's face it, blue is a very desirable color to have mixed in with other mana colors. And in the original Power 9 cards, 3 of the Power 9 cards are blue, and the rest of the Power artifacts. You notice there's no red, green, right? They don't have other colors represented, no white. It's all artifacts and blue, which is kind of crazy. It shows how skewed things were back then. But I want to show you something here. It's going to fill the screen, so bear with me here. You'll see a dual land for $1,000 for that Underground Sea. Badlands $260. We got Scrubland for $250. We got a Tagger for $220, and we got the Savannah for $230. Did you notice that if you add all four together, it's about the $1,000 mark? Did you notice that? If you had $1,000, you could skip buying the Underground Sea and buy 4 dual lands you actually could use and want, and watch your investment grow fourfold. Because if you don't think those 4 cards are going to outpace as a whole against one Underground Sea, you're crazy. Underground Sea only has a certain market cap it can move to each time, for those who are seeking it out. Those cards can all move up individually at 3 or 4%. Well, that's 12 to 15%, where you might only see, Underground Sea move up 5%. So overall, they will eventually overtake Underground Sea in terms of value when you bought them as a group. Kind of crazy, right? Most people don't think about that, but those lands are affordable still in terms of an Underground Sea or a Volcanic, right? So I just thought it was something great to talk about today. I thought it was a good conversation topic. When you see what's available out there and what you can afford, you realize, wow, dual lands are expensive, but they are kind of like that beginning thing for old school collecting cards. You don't have to start off with mint copies, but you do have to have real copies. And it's okay to get a beat up one, then move up to a moderately played, light played, until you can get to that gem minty fresh one if you want it. Some players just want to have the card to play with, right? I'm more of that mind. I don't care if mine are gem mint. I care if they're real. My Black Lotus is beat to tar from back in the day. Beat up all over the place, but it is real, and that's what I care about. So it's something to keep in mind, all right? Getting a beat up card still means it's real versus getting a card that's not real. And again, all of these can be found in Collector Edition right now for those same types of cards at pretty reasonable prices. If you're looking for a Collector Edition copy to even save a few more bucks. Just saying, guys, it's something to talk about. So leave those comments below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This was MTG Moxman, and I'll see you tomorrow, another chilly day. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much, guys, for making everything possible every single day. You guys are amazing. And for the higher tier patrons, don't forget, Sunday will be our live stream for drawing from Deadpool's head. Have a great one, guys.